guys, welcome back to Susie on the Farm. If you're new here, I'm Susie, and in today's episode I have an exciting new product announcement for you that will be available on the website and in store. But first, I have a small area here that I need to get ready for the new product, and I'll have a few little things that I need to do to this area. So let's go ahead and get started with today's episode. So Mom picked up this cabinet at the thrift store the other day. It's actually a really nice cabinet, and I don't have anything else. I can't find exactly what I'm looking for to put the product on, and I had a couple of these just basic bookshelves, and it fit perfectly on this cabinet. But as you can see, they need to be a little bit more cohesive together. So we are going to paint this, and guess what? We're going to do it with the new product. I knew that this was real wood underneath this top, and I really wanted to sand it down to the wood and leave that showing all the wood grain up top. I was having a hard time. I'm using an 80 grit sandpaper, but this really had many layers of that stain and everything on there, so I decided to use citrus strip. This is the first time I've used it, and I will say it did help a pretty good bit. I just spread it all over there. I set me a 30-minute timer, and I went back in and did some more work on something else. I came back out and then scraped off, and I think it took off a couple of layers, and then I let it dry again, and then once I did that, it was much easier to sand this top smooth. So I finished sanding it with I was using 80 grit, a really rough sandpaper, and then after I got all the finish off, I went back over it with a smooth 220 grit just to make it feel really smooth to the top. And that got the top ready for what we're going to do to it. And then I went back in, and we are going to do the bottom half of the cabinet. Once I get it all cleaned up, we're going to paint the bottom half of the cabinet. Y'all may have guessed by now, but I am happy to announce that I am going to be a retailer, or I am now a retailer for Debi's DIY paint. This is a clay-based paint. It's highly pigmented, and I've always loved to use it. I've missed using it. I'm going to paint this cabinet in my favorite DIY paint, Apothecary. And I'm just giving it a good stir, and look how thick and creamy and pigmented this paint is. I love using it. I also love Fusion, but it is a different type of paint, and sometimes you just need a good clay-based paint. This paint only has, I believe, like 9 ingredients, so it's very safe to use. And so gorgeous. I am loving how this cabinet is looking already. I did 2 coats of paint on all of the bottom half, and then I'm going to come back and wet distress everything. That is one thing that I love about the DIY paint, is that it is water soluble. It can be reactivated with water, so it's very easy to wet distress if you love that kind of look, which I do. So while the 2 coats of paint are drying, I am going to move on to the little bookshelves that I'm going to be using to put the paint on. And for those, I felt like I'm not going to paint them because they're just basic white bookshelves, but I am going to put a little bit of energy into them, and I'm going to use the corrugated metal decoupage paper and just put on the back sides of these bookshelves just to give them a little bit of interest. It's not going to show a whole lot, but I thought that it would make just the right pop of color in the back of these cabinets. So I'm just going to decoupage an entire sheet down. It was nearly a perfect fit. I just had to cut one more little strip, and I am using the Fusion decoupage and transfer gel with my brush, and I just did a pretty big strip to begin with. Then I'm going to mist my paper just to make it easier to stretch those fibers and lay down and decoupage on. I'm going to use my hand to smooth out all the wrinkles, and then I'm just going to work my way down the rest of it until I finish it. I'm going to cut a strip to fit in that other little part and place it there, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other bookshelf because it is going to take two, one on top of the cabinet and one beside the cabinet. So here I am wet distressing the cabinet, and it's so easy and looks so good once it's dry. After I got everything distressed how I wanted it, I did come back and I sealed the entire bottom half of the cabinet with Big Top, and it's the first time I'm using Big Top. I like to use the waxes on DIY, but for this I wasn't sure, since this is a temporary holding place for the paint, that I might decide to put a transfer on this later, so I did not want to wax it. And I gotta say, I was so impressed with the Big Top. It went on so easy and dried really fast. And now for the top, and I'm going to be using the liquid patina dark and decrepit on this top. You can actually use this liquid patina. I wouldn't even have had to sand it. But I did want to see all that gorgeous wood grain. I just wanted a really clean look. So I sanded it smooth, and I did one layer of this dark and decrepit, and y'all, it is so gorgeous. I have a cabinet at home that I did this exact same way years ago, and I've always loved it, and I wanted to recreate the same thing here. Once everything was dry, I put everything back together, and then it's pretty late in the day here, so I'm not going to have time to put all the paint out. But in the morning, I'm going to start pricing and putting out all of the new DIY paint product. I think the space is looking pretty good. I've got everything braced where nothing's going to fall over. I love how the cabinet turned out. You cannot go wrong with Apothecary, and I'm so glad that I put the corrugated metal in the back of the bookshelves just to give them just a little bit more interest. So now it is the next morning, and let's get this paint all put out and priced. I also got all this listed on the website. It'll be under DIY paint at www.susieonthefarm.com if you're interested in trying out this paint, or if you want to go check out all the colors. At the end of this video, I'm going to play through all the colors if you're interested in seeing them, if you want to hang around for that. I'm sure that I will move this paint around so many times until I get it like I like it. But for now, I'm just trying to put the pints with the samples and keep them as organized as I can. When I get all this paint loaded in these shelves, I think I'm going to paint just some little wooden tags. I've got hundreds of them. So I'm going to go start painting the wooden tags for these. There's no way I'm going to have time to get that done during this video because it's like 2 o'clock on Wednesday right now, and I've still got to edit and get this video uploaded. Nothing like the last minute, which is kind of my jam and how I do things these days. But anyway, I thought that that would be a neat way to display the colors until I can come up with a better solution. So we're going to go back to the studio, and I'm going to paint those little wooden tags with a few different colors. Since the DIY paint is so highly pigmented, I was able to just do one coat on these natural wood tags, and then I took paint pens after they dried and just wrote what color they were on there. you want to see more of these colors, be sure to stick around till after the video, and I will play through all of the different DIY colors. I'm not going to get into the cottage colors in this video, but we'll get more into those later. I'm just going to do the DIY colors for now. To put these on display for now, I simply just hot glued them onto one side of my bookshelf. I'm probably going to have to use the other side too, but just so people can see the colors if they're here in the store. Like I said previously, I do have everything listed on the website. Y'all just be patient with me though while I build up my stock. I have every color, but I don't have, because I got every color, I do not have a lot of anything. So just be patient with me. I will do another order really soon. I just needed to get all the colors here in my shop to display them. Thank y'all for watching today's video. I hope that you have enjoyed the little furniture upcycle and hearing about my new product. Thank y'all for your orders, and I will get these out to you as soon as possible.